Hi, I'm the Malt Activist, and today we have with us one of my favorite whiskeys from Islay. This is the Octomore. First of all, let me say, how cool is this bottle? Right? I love this minimal design style. It's really cool. So Bruichladdich, even on their website, states this is a peat-free zone, so no peat zone. So they don't peat, traditional Bruichladdich whiskeys. So Jim McKeown, legend and ex-master distiller of Bruichladdich, said, okay, well, if Bruichladdich is a non-peated whiskey, let me try and make the most peated whiskey in the whole world. And he came up with the Octomore. And they kind of went crazy, right? They peated it to up to 270, 269 ppm, something like that, if I'm not mistaken, which is massive, right? Because if you compare it to, let's say, an Ardbeg 10, that's peated at 40 ppm. Now imagine something that's 6 times as peated, right? So even I remember in the earlier editions, they used to write the level of ppm in there, so it would be 4_169. So it'd be edition 4 peated at 169. But it seems like they've sort of done away with that, and now they're just it's super heavily peated. I hope you can read that. So I don't think they mentioned the actual ppm levels on this anymore. But yeah, so now the Octomore up to its 9th edition, doing really well. This particular one, the 9.1, is bottled at 59.1%. So we're not playing around here, boys and girls. 59.1%. It doesn't say it's cask strength. I'm going to assume it is. Proudly states that it's 5 years old. That's right. Fantastic. And it has, they do have a ppm level. 156. I hope we can see that. 156 ppm. Still quite high. We're still not playing around. So 156 ppm, aged for 5 years, bottled at 59.1%. Fantastic bottle. Oh, and aged in bourbon barrels for 5 years. What's not to like? Right. Have a look at this color first. Pale straw, golden, call it whatever you want. Nice whiskey color. Yes, and we're back to Islay. Oh, so good. I could, put this in a bottle of cologne and I'll wear it. Seriously, I'll wear this every day. I'll be homesick, I'll be nostalgic for Islay, but I will wear it every day. In fact, yeah, let it stay with me. I feel like I'm on the island already. And this nose, so good. Not as strong as you would think it is, right? 59.1% at such a high ppm level, but it's still quite gentle. You can still get a lot of the flavors. It's very charry, lots of soot. Like a spent barbecue or like a dying fireplace. Embers. That's so very peat and smoky and char forward, right? But sit with it for a little bit, right? And it becomes a little more malty, right? It's quite buttery and fatty and oily as well. Rounded off nicely with those lime, lemon, citrus notes that the bourbon will give you. Some vanillas and coconuts in there as well. Not as sweet on the nose as I thought it might be, but it's that, really heavy char that's taking over the initial flavor profile, which I love. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Pineapple? Is there pineapple? Maybe it's a pineapple. But it's one of those noses that if you're an Islophile like me, just transports you back to the island, and you're like, yeah, I'm back. This is my place. This is where I belong. Ooh, nice. Now I'm getting a more sweet tangerine citrus in here as well. So look, I mean, with any good whiskeys, the longer you sit with it, the more complex they'll get. Once they oxidize, they'll give you more. You add a pinch of water, they'll give you more. So definitely do that with all your whiskeys. I'm gonna try and I'm just gonna do it without water, because I really, really like the intense burn that the Octomores give me, and so I'm going to. I don't think I'm gonna add any water to it. Yeah, now we're kind of stuck at that burnt toast profile. So yeah, happy with that. I love this nose. Again, because I'm an Isleophile, it takes me back. And I've drunk a lot of Octomores and they've never let me down, and I seriously hope this one doesn't either. So, cheers. Yes, of course. What else was I expecting? Oh, this builds up. You take your first sip and it goes down and you think, hey, that's not so bad. And then slowly, like a giant hot air balloon of spices, it comes up all the way from deep inside of you and then just envelops your entire face. Wow. So good. Yeah. So medium to full body delivery, perfect, which I really like. Amazing that they managed that within 5 years of whiskey maturation. So that's good. Again, very char and burnt, ashes and soot forward. But then the longer you keep it on your palate, you have white pepper spices. And then the lemon and the lime and the citrus and the vanillas and the fatty, oily, buttery notes just come in, and then they just envelop your palate. And then once you take a sip, you let it out, it's a whole new explosion of like massive flavors and spices. And I suspect it has a lot to do with the 59.1% that is being packed into this bottle. But even having said that, and this whiskey is known as an iron fist in a velvet glove, and that just fits this description so perfectly, right? Because you're like, oh my god, it's at cask strength, it's at 160 ppm, and my god, what am I going to expect? But then you get this gentle approach with its sweet and citrusy flavors. Once you get past the soot and the char and the peat and all the burnt elements, and you get to really appreciate. So for example, now my second sip is going to be a bit more sweeter because my tongue's already used to like a high intensity alcohol attack. Yeah, see? So much more oily, so much more buttery, so much more sweeter. The lemon lime is nice and buttery, and it's fatty and it's oily, and there's like a vanilla custard note to this as well. So wow. So in a series of these special edition bottles, and they're up to their 9th edition, there's probably not a single Octomore that I have not fallen in love with, including this one. And maybe slightly on the higher side, price wise. I mean, it's still 5 years old, but selling it about, I don't know, like 120, 130 pounds, 170, $80, which is a lot for a 5-year-old whiskey. But you're drinking what is the brainchild of probably, Isla's greatest master distiller in recent times, Mr. Jim McKeown, who's now ex-Bruichladdich, moved on to Ardnahoe, if I'm not mistaken. And he's been replaced by the very, very capable Adam Hannett, who's put this whiskey out. And you know what? I think he's done justice to Jim's legacy and his work on this particular series, at least. And so I'm extremely happy to have tried this and tasted this, and I'm extremely relieved that there is no discernible drop in quality, which I'm very thankful for. So yes, go out and get this Octomore. It's the 9.1. You are really going to like it. And yes, thank you for joining me for this whiskey review. I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time, peace.